Welcome to episode 117 of Outside the Circle, a podcast dedicated to new and upcoming country artists, musicians, and songwriters. Today's guest will be Marie Wise Hawkins. We'll get to her in a little bit, but first, I'm Ronnie. And Brian, how was your Christmas?
What's up, guys? Yeah, this was our third Christmas with Wyatt, I guess, and we didn't have to pre-open presents for him. Like normally you'd have to like start them and then he would get to it. This time it was like just straight mayhem, just tearing presents open. You could tell the difference between when he really liked a toy and when he got clothing, because the clothing boxes would get tore open, the clothes would go flying. He'd notice there were no toys in there and he'd move on to the next. But otherwise, man, yeah, it was fun. It was super relaxing. We didn't go anywhere, stayed at home, and relaxed. I cooked a ham on the Traeger, which was super nice. mini earthquake over at Ronnie's house. But
my light just fell and like I thought it almost shattered. Okay, anyway, so the mini ham.
Yeah, so I did the ham on the smoker and it came out friggin' awesome, dude. I don't know if I'll ever use my oven again, having that Traeger. It's like I'll just cook everything on there. It's great.
Nice. Yeah, I was living vicariously through your posts and pictures of same thing, very, very quiet over on this end, but I was, I guess, vicariously living through Wyatt's excitement over some of those gifts there. So, I'm glad he had a good day and you guys as well, especially now, I'm assuming everybody's feeling much better. So, just in time. So that was, it was a cool little Christmas.
Yeah, man, it was great. Now we look forward to we had to postpone that sweater party here at the house, our annual sweater party. So we're having our Christmas sweater party post Christmas on New Year's Eve, and it'll be pretty good.
Yeah. So as of the recording of this, we are 3 days away from me debuting the sweater, and it occurred to me, not to get off topic, but with Steve-O possibly not coming down, he's the only person that has somewhat of an idea of what the sweater is. So I'm a little sad he's not going to be there to witness it come together. But
we'll FaceTime him in.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun. It's but yeah. So it's the week after Christmas here, coming up to New Year's. So as always, we want to obviously end with an interview here with the year, but I'm sure we have some kind words to say post interview. Like I mentioned in the intro, we have Marie Wise Hawkins on today, so let's jump to her. Big beach vibe. So here in the dead of winter in cold New Jersey, we'll get some California beach vibes from her and warm it up a little bit. All right, everyone. We're here today with singer-songwriter Marie Wise Hawkins. Welcome to Outside the Circle, Marie. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Ronnie.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to have you. Not that the listeners know, but we had a little back and forth trying to get going yesterday, and finally here we are. So I'm glad we made it. I'm glad we're recording, and I'm excited to chat with you. We always like to start with the cliche. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and how important music was in your household, and things like that.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Southern California, Santa Cruz area specifically. I literally grew up on country music ever since I was 12. I had a band from the time I was 12 until now. I've always loved country music, and I wanted to combine my love of country with like my California roots. So that's how I came up with my whole beach country vibe that I have going on now. So.
Yeah, so I've told this story on the podcast in the past, but weirdly enough, we were talking about beforehand. I'm from New Jersey, but I lived in California. Weirdly enough, it took me moving to Los Angeles to listen to and get into country music. So I feel like that's not the place that I should have done that, but clearly it is. If
Normally the opposite.
yeah, but yeah. So growing up on country music, I'm assuming that like that was kind of what was always around. It's the, I guess that area is a little.
Oh, it's like Bakersfield sound, like Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, all that stuff. I grew up on with my mom and grandma always playing it, Dwight Yoakam, all that stuff.
Yeah. So you said, having the band for a while there. So when did you know that music was going to be like that thing that you were going to pursue and go after?
Man, I would say when I did the Country Showdown, that was about 8 years ago. And that was before I moved to Nashville. I was one of the finalists in the Country Showdown at the Ryman Auditorium. That was like a dream come true experience for me. I got to meet my biggest inspiration, Leanne Rhymes. She was hosting the show. And I was like, man, I got to move to Nashville. I got to like live and breathe this every day. And now I've been performing downtown like 6 days a week. It's my full-time job. I go do music for a living, record, songwrite. Like, I'm just so happy. Yeah. Doing what I love.
Well, that's good and important. And, what's that saying? You could, you're not really working if you're doing what you love or whatever that.
True.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, cool. So you moved to Nashville. I know there was some kind of finding, you said that your beach vibe, kind of finding your vibe there for a little bit. Do you find, and I guess this will eventually kind of transition into like songwriting, but do you find that having that Southern California sun's always out, like roots, that being in a place like Nashville, like it's hard to access that part of you, or is it's just so ingrained at this point?
I mean, I feel it's so ingrained. The only thing missing is the ocean. Like I really miss the ocean, but we do have Florida about 6 hours away. So Florida and all that, enjoy the beach.
Yeah. So let's take that into songwriting then. So I do know, and we'll kind of talk about it in a little bit, but I do know that you had a couple singles, couple EPs early, then kind of came back with this beach vibe. So I guess, what does that songwriting process look like to you? I know it's kind of cliche, or broad, but yeah, like what does that process look like for you? And I guess where you draw inspiration from, all that good stuff.
I would say like my biggest inspiration would be like Jimmy Buffett. Man, we lost a good one this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like channeling like all my California roots into my music with like acoustic instruments like guitar, the pedals, the steel drums, classical guitar. Like my song Somewhere in Mexico has a lot of those elements. Just bringing in all like that inspirational vibes for like people feeling like they're on vacation. I want them to feel like I'm transporting them, even if they can't, go somewhere else. Just having that feeling of being on the beach, being elsewhere. And a lot of time I co-write and I feed off of other songwriters too.
That's what I was going to kind of get to next. So co-writing, obviously that kind of, I would assume, I guess it is different for everyone, but I would assume it's very kind of opens channels, I guess, that you might not have walked into the room with, or even thoughts you might not have had prior. And yeah, I personally would find it difficult to write with somebody else, because I got to write my song, but
yeah. But for me, I definitely feed off other people's ideas, and just like as a collaborative effort, you know what I mean? A lot of time I come up with like a chorus, like a good hook. It's just building the verses around that.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I guess I'm going to jump around a little bit because I just mentioned it, so might as well talk about it. So you last released music in 2018, I believe was the EP there. 5 years arguably is kind of a little bit of a long time in between releases, especially, going through what the world did in a couple of years there. Did you almost feel like, I don't know, maybe you were either like starting over or had to relearn some things coming into these 3 releases that have been so far?
I definitely felt like I was sort of starting over because now I'm like, it's a whole new rebrand. I'm bringing beach country into my vibe. Also, COVID happened, so that delayed the whole process of me releasing my new songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely a big gap in the timing there. But I'm happy I'm waited and I got like my sound figured out and finally know who I am as an artist, and it's that beach country vibe. And I don't feel like a lot of girls are doing that in the industry now. You see like Kenny Chesney, you see a lot of guys doing it, but I'm like, well, I'm from California, so it's like perfect for me.
Well, right what you know and be authentic to who you are. That's the goal, right? That's all right. So then I guess let's jump into the song that we're going to play for you then. So that way, we're talking about this beach vibe. Let's get a little bit of that together. So why don't you go ahead and introduce the song for us? We'll put it on and we'll talk about it when we come back.
All right. Well, this is my new song, Island Time.
I'm just sitting by the harbor, dancing to the rhythm of the waves tonight. I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm gonna be alright. Warm breeze swaying through the palm trees, gonna be leaving my worries behind. Try to live in the moment.
All right, so let's talk about Island Time. First and foremost, what was the inspiration behind that song and eventually getting it released for you?
Man, the inspiration behind Island Time was just my love of boat life. I used to go out on the harbor in Lake Ventura Harbor in California. I just spend the day out on the boat. I actually performed on a cruise line for 6 months. So I wanted to write a song about boat life, just escaping the world and just being out, just on the open sea and just forgetting about everything. So that's kind of what the inspiration was behind it. And that's where I actually shot my music video in Ventura Harbor. I had to bring it all to life right there.
That must have been a fun gig on the cruise lines. There was a part of me that wanted to do that at one point, not music, but just work on a cruise. And I hear it's a rough few months, but I hear it's like worth it.
It's definitely tough. Yeah, I mean, you have to pay for Wi-Fi to talk to your family and friends, but you also get to meet a lot of people from different parts of the world, you know. And yeah. I did 6 months in Alaska and Canada, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Hopefully they weren't in the winter time. Hopefully you got a little sun and
Oh no, it was summer, fall. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So Island Time was the third single of the year for you, kind of going with like a beach theme trilogy, I guess, if being three. The other two, Find Me on a Beach and Somewhere in Mexico. Since the trilogy as a whole, how has the response been as you continue to put out these songs, and especially with the rebrand too? Yeah.
It's been amazing. I actually made it to the Music Row charts with Find Me on a Beach. It hit in the top 80, and I was just like so enthusiastic. That's been like one of my bucket list things to happen. So that was a dream come true. My music video, Somewhere in Mexico, ended up on CMT. It's just been amazing. Yeah, people are like, "Oh, I heard your song on the radio." You know what I mean? It's just been awesome.
Yeah, no, that's good. And they normally I always talk about like the song we play, but I wanted to save it for the three. I guess having my California background of sorts and growing up on the Jersey Shore, I appreciate a good beach song. And we were talking earlier, I think off camera, or maybe it was in the beginning of the interview, that there's not many female artists doing that at the moment, and I think we need more of that. I mean, no offense to Jake Owen and Kenny Chesney, and you can only listen to them for so long. So we definitely need more of that. So hopefully you're leading the pack and ushering in a new wave of that sound.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So right now, I believe you are pretty consistent playing shows down at Tootsie's, I believe is where you're at now. I guess first and foremost, for those that don't really know, like listener wise, getting I always call them a residency, but I guess that's maybe not the correct word. Like, how does something like that come into effect as opposed to, just playing like one off every so often? Like how do you get that consistency, I guess? Or
I'm honestly just super blessed for the circuit that I'm in, which is Tootsie's, Honky Tonk Central, Rippies, Kid Rocks. For 2 years, I've been consistent 6 days a week downtown. My band and I have just been super grateful to have that consistent gig every week. You audition, there's an audition process, and then they usually place you with a certain band, but I told them, hey, I have my own band that I would love to play with, and we just got lucky. We got to be placed at Tootsie's, and now we're also playing Honky Tonk Central main stage, and it's just crazy. People are like lining up on vacation, like to day drink, like 10 a.m. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's a lot of fun. You meet people from all around the world.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So the audition side of that, I could see that being a thing, but it's interesting that they would like want to place you with like, I guess essentially their own band. That's
It's a lot of singers come in just looking for work, and they're like, okay, we'll just place with different musicians with different bands. But I had an established band, so I'm like, hey, I have a band.
Yeah.
So I was lucky in that respect. So
yeah. And if maybe I'm totally off, but hockey, we were talking about hockey before. Honky Tonk Central and Tootsies and Rippies, they're all owned by the same company too, right? So having that consistency to be able to, yeah. Oh, and Kid Rock too. Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll move between the four bars.
Yeah. No, that's good. Having that being able to like, I don't want to say it gets stale, quote unquote, but having that consistency to be able to like bounce around and have different scenery. No, that's awesome. So what, for somebody who hasn't seen you and is coming out, what can people expect from a live show of yours?
Just a rocking good time. Everyone hollering and swallowing, performing on the bar top, getting people just partying and going. It's just a good time.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of those, top 100 country songs like Redneck Woman, all those rockin' country tunes. Also like some Joan Jett, Pat Benatar, Led Zeppelin. We do everything.
Good. Yeah, I did a little social media stalking, and I saw quite the entertaining videos. Like you mentioned, the being on top of the bars and yeah, it looks like a great time. So if anybody listening is in Nashville and hasn't seen you, they should go, because it looks like a great time. Yeah. I'm
blessed to call that work. That's ready for work. Like,
yeah. And I noticed too, so you said before, people are lining up like early, like, a lot of these bars, again, people that aren't from or haven't ever really been to Nashville, these bars are open almost, they're closed for a few hours in the morning, and that's pretty much it. So that's it must also be like you're almost performing a day job, right? Like you're in that block of daytime performing that must be nice to have like your nights available. Like,
absolutely. Yeah. And then do other showcases and original music showcases and stuff like that. So
yeah. I remember I was in the restaurant business for a very long time, and I hated the night shifts because of that. You can't go do other things. So no, that's awesome. All right. So, well, it's December now. We're pretty much at the end of the year here. 2024, literally right around the corner. Is there anything you have coming on down the line that you want to touch on? Any more music, more things like that?
Yeah, I'm working on a new Love Beach song that'll probably be released sometime next year. Just co-writing a lot more music now to kind of like follow on this trilogy of songs.
Good. And I know this is kind of a loaded question, but is there like a end goal of like this, like maybe like a beach themed album, or is it more just at this point just focusing on the singles and kind of pushing that, I guess?
I think the end goal would be a beach themed album of all these singles kind of like built up over time.
Yeah.
And opening, getting on the road, opening up for bigger artists and that sort of thing too.
Yeah. So that was actually going to be my I guess I don't want to say last question, but last topic. So I do know that you've opened for some pretty big names and all that. So we always like to ask, especially having those experiences in town as well as out in the world. One, do you have a favorite show/tour memory? And 2, what's the craziest Tootsies experience or thing that you've witnessed at Tootsies?
I would say for me, my favorite show memory would be still the Ryman, being able to be on that stage where all the big legendary country artists performed. Patsy Cline performed, Johnny Cash, looking out the stained glass windows and being in that circle and playing with the Ryman band was just like, yeah, that's just like a memory I can't forget. And Tootsie's, the craziest memory you said?
Yeah.
I would say probably a protest going on outside when I was singing Patsy Cline Crazy, and a gentleman, about a 300-pound gentleman in his overalls doing the worm on the floor. So, yeah.
Now, the question is, was this gentleman was he part of the show or was he part of the protest?
Oh, no, he was just an audience member.
So he was there. So chances are he was a little liquored up and the protest was getting him excited. Yeah.
I will not
Yes.
forget it.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Island Time, a couple months ago now at this point, it came out, and like you said, you got some working on some new music here. So I can't wait to hear those and get those out in the world. Where can our listeners go to find you online and, find all your music and stuff?
MarieWeissHawkins.com, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, TikTok, Apple Music. It's under my name, Marie Weiss Hawkins.
Sweet. Nice and easy. Yeah. All right, Marie. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me and chatting a little bit. Like I said, I can't wait for new music. And first of all, I do have to say, I do love the old stuff. So hopefully you don't throw all that away. But
Hey, what was your favorite song?
I'm a sucker for anything that has to do with a pickup truck. So I had to go there. And then I'm drawing a blank on the
You're All I Need.
You're All I Need. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. I was a big fan driving home yesterday. I was like, but yeah, so don't throw all of that away, but I do like what you're doing with the beach stuff. And yeah, we definitely need more of that, especially in the winter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, I thank you very much for joining me, and can't wait for everyone to listen and get to know you a little more, and yeah, see big things happening down on Broadway for you.
I really appreciate you, Ronnie. Anytime, come on down. We'll have a good time.
All right, so that was our interview with Marie Weiss Hawkins, and yeah, as everybody heard, that was another one that I knocked out during your sick time there. So kind of sad you missed out on it, but glad you're obviously get to hear it afterwards. But yeah, no, I really loved the patience, I guess, from in between her first set of releases and kind of going through that rebranding of figuring out who she is and what she wants to be, and coming back in 2023 getting these 3 songs out, and yeah, it was a lot of fun chatting with her about all that.
Yeah, man, nice work on that one. The most of our listeners know me as the mountain, outdoors, in the woods type of feel, but I love a good beach day. And so, yeah, no, her sound is really cool. And, having the opportunity to play on the Opry stage is, I'm a little envious of that. But no, man, it was cool, man. I'm a fan of her and that beach sound. So I'm along for the ride.
Yeah. And I think I talked with her during the interview about it, but when you think of the country beach sound, you think Jake Owen, Kenny Chesney. Mm. but you don't really hear like the female side of all of that. So it's pretty cool that like, you know, she's kind of tackling that head on. And so yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed that conversation with Marie. And she mentioned she's got a nice love beach song coming out in the start of the year here. So hopefully, you know, we'll use her music to keep us warm in these cold, depressing, dark winter days.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is we're out of the winter solstice. Oh, I guess we passed the winter solstice, right? So the days just get longer. The temperature stays cold, though.
Yes.
Yeah, man, we're at the end of the year. You know, 2023 is a wrap, going into 2024. Definitely want to thank all of the artists that we've had throughout the year. We definitely thank all of our listeners for, you know, staying on board with us. You know, we take our time off here and there, you know, due to our actual personal business lives, and we continue to just keep putting out episodes. And, you know, definitely thank the listeners for keep coming back and listening. We definitely see those numbers still happening. So, you know, huge thank you to everyone.
Yeah, definitely means a lot that, you know, we, like you said, we take that time, and sometimes it's not expected and sometimes it is, and sometimes, you know, how often, oh man, we haven't done anything. Yeah, but they'll keep coming back, and you guys do. So we appreciate the flexibility that you give us. But yeah, 2023 is over here. So you know, as always, we wish everybody a very happy, safe, fun-filled New Year's Eve, and you know, moving into the new year here. And I think it's safe to say that we're not slowing down anytime soon. So keep on coming back, and we appreciate it more than most of you probably know.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Ronnie. And, you know, thanks again for Marie to come on Outside the Circle. Be sure you follow her on all of her social media, music listening platforms. We'll leave you today with another track from Marie Wise Hawkins, Somewhere in Mexico.